This is Entrepreneurship 30. We are looking LivePlan and we are checking out the section that is listed as opportunity. In that section of opportunity, what you are really listing it is why does your company matter? The first thing that you want to ask and that you want to be writing for is what is the problem? What's the problem that you're solving for? Whatever business or service you have, you are solving a problem. So the first thing you want to do is that you genuinely want to state um, as clear as possible what single or group of problems within the same genre are you're solving for. So if you look at a company like GameStop, they were solving the problem of boredom of gamers playing the same game. If you ever played a game back in the days and you purchased the game, you brought it home, you were super excited to play with it for the first week, 2 weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months max. But after playing with it for 2 or 3 months, you were kind of done with it, and that game was just stacking up. So GameStop decided to let you come in, sell your game for 15, 25 bucks, and then allow you to buy another used game for 35, 40 bucks versus a brand new game of 80 bucks. So therefore, people were willing to sell their games for 25 bucks, buying another game for 40 bucks. GameStop was making $15 for that exchange. So this was a wonderful problem solution. The problem was that gamers were bored playing with the games and they wanted to play with other games at a cheaper cost. So you have to figure out what is the problem that you're solving for, and then you need to state clearly what is your solution. Now, when you look at the target and target market size, I will add a little bit, a few other videos to kind of go into this part. But this is the area that you start telling me who is your ideal customer. Your ideal customer is the customer that is going to say, "Shut up and take my money. I have this problem. You have this solution. How do I get your services? How do I get your product?" Is when you bring something into the market, your ideal customers are going to be loyal. They're going to be wanting to buy your products. They're going to want to be part of your experience. You also need to know what is your ideal customer looks like. Are they going to be young or old? If you're opening a bakery and you're selling, everybody's going to love my goods. Does it really everybody loves your goods? Does 5-year-olds love your goods? Is a person who is a 5-year-old and loves the baked goods, is it the same person that is 85-year-old? Or you're really looking for that 25 to 35? You really need to figure it out who is your most likely customer that is going to get closer to your ideal customer. Once you know what your ideal customer looks like, both in demographics, geographics, and psychographics, then what you need to do is start looking at how many of them live in the market. How big is your market size? In this case, you may be able to go into something like the census. So for instance, with the same bakery example, if you want to open a bakery in San Francisco and you said, I want to open a bakery in San Francisco and I want to open it in the North Beach area, because in the North Beach area, well, San Francisco, there's 860,000 people that live in the city. 60% of them are between the ages of 25 and 45. So that gives you a larger customer. So you do that 860 times 60%. That will give you a new number. And after that, you tell me who are you going to be targeting. Is your bakery going to be target as a biker stop? So you want people that ride motorcycles, Harley Davidsons and Indians or speed bikes to come in, and instead of going to Starbucks, you're going to get hundreds of people on sports bikes outside and revving their engines and scaring other customers. Or you're going to be looking for the Lululemon marina going yoga lookalike customers, where they are going to go and do their yoga poses down by the marina, and they're going to walk over to your shop and get a pastry and a coffee and hang out with the other Lululemon yoga pant wearing mothers. Right? It's funny to have to categorize people in groups, but by grouping them, it allows you to really know who your target market is. It is essential to your success to understand who is your ideal customer, their demographics, their geographics and psychographics, and how many of them are there. Because then that is going to give you your market size and your market opportunity. Remember that this class is intended for those who have already taken a marketing class and understand, market segmentation and market sizing. Now, when we look into the competition analysis, you want to figure out what are the current alternatives for said services, whatever services you have. You want to figure out where they're going, who is doing it for them, and how satisfied are people going to that other place. And that is going to give you the opportunity to say, what are your advantages? Now, if you're a new company and you're starting, it's going to be a little hard to say that you're going to be better than the established company. Somebody who's already been doing it for 5-10 years, they're probably going to be better at what they do than you are. But you may be able to say that you do things differently or on par, or if there is something that you do completely differently that they do, then at that point you can say that you are better at doing that because the other company simply is not doing it, or they may not be doing it well. That's how you start listing what is your advantage in terms of winning. I would suggest that you stay away from your advantage being price, because if your only advantage is price competition, what would happen when somebody else gets in the market and does it cheaper? If they go cheaper, are you going to be able to do it? If you are a price competitor, this means that people are always going to be trying to shop you for something cheaper, whether there is a substitution online or the dollar store or a different store that is going to give it to them at a lesser cost. So if your competition is price, either A, you have extraordinary source of resources which allows you to reduce cost, or you're going to have very little to no margins, which at that point it will may lead your company into going to loss. So these are now the next steps on your company. So the first thing you want to do is write what's the problem that you're solving. The next session is going to be what is your solution. The reason why it's separated is that I want you to make sure that you have clear visibility as you explain this to investors, bankers, or potential partners or new hires. What is the problem that you're solving for? And then you tell me what is your solution. And then, then after that, you're going to tell me how many people are in the market, what is your ideal customer. So this way we can size the opportunity, and then how is that need or how is that problem being solved now and by whom, and then what gives you that competitive advantage. And this is the next section that is going to be due next week. So go ahead and get it started. As you write it in, send me a message via Canvas that you worked on it, so I can start giving you feedback as we go along.